Daan-daan na ang bilang ng mga naitayong base militar ng Estados Unidos sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Ayon sa isang American anthropology professor, kapahamakan ang dala nito kaysa kapayapaan. Alamin natin ang unang bahagi ng special report na ito ni Hannah Jane Sancho.
Sa nakalipas na panahon, magmula na matapos ang ikalawang digmaang pandaigdig, ay naging aktibo ang Estados Unidos sa pagkatayo ng mga base militar sa iba't ibang panig ng daigdig. Sa katunayan, isang propesor ng Department of Anthropology ng American University na si Professor David Vine ang nagpahayag ng kanyang pagkabahala. Si Professor Vine ang nasa likod ng kilalang librong Base Nation at Island of Shame, kung saan inalahad nito kung papaanong hindi nakatutulong ang US military bases sa mga bansang naitayo ito. Ayon kay Professor Vine, base sa kanyang research, tinatayang nasa 750 ang US military bases sa labas ng Estados Unidos na matatagpuan sa 80 bansa sa buong mundo.
So the United States currently has around 750 military bases outside the 50 states and Washington, D.C. in around 80 foreign countries and colonies. So 750 bases in around 80 foreign countries and colonies. And I say about because the Pentagon publishes an annual list, which is notoriously inaccurate. It leaves countries off that are where well-known bases exist, as well as secretive bases. So I've been keeping a list for years now, and by my best estimate, there are around 750 bases and 80 foreign countries and colonies. Most are countries that were in the States during and after World War II. So Germany, Japan, South Korea, and Italy. There are other significant concentrations of bases in other parts of East Asia and Europe in particular. But there are bases on every continent except Antarctica at this point. There are bases in Latin America, there are bases in Africa, certainly very large concentrations of bases in the Middle East. Won't be surprising to anyone because of U.S. wars in the Middle East, including in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Nagpahayag naman ng pagkabahala si Professor Vine sa hakbang na ginagawa ng Estados Unidos kung saan ang mga base militar nito ay naka-strategic position na nakapalibot sa bansang China.
Yeah, and this is one of my greatest concerns right now. The United States has encircled China and has encircled China since the Cold War, since not long after the World War II. But in recent years, the United States has been building up its military.
At isa ang bansang Pilipinas sa nakikita ng Estados Unidos bilang pangunahing lugar upang magtayo ng kanilang base militar. Ngunit paano nga ba nagsimula ang pagtatayo ng base militar ng Amerika sa Pilipinas?
Well, we might as well return to the time when we were given independence on July 4th of 1946 by the Americans right after the World War II. In other words, inasmuch as it is provided for in the 1935 Commonwealth that we will be given 10 years after that, the independence. So they gave us independence, maski na the Philippines was, of course, including Manila itself, was in shambles. So, ang nagbigay ng reparation sa atin dyan is Japan, mostly. But when they gave us the independence, they also retained control over Clark Air Base, Subic Bay, Sangli, John Hay, and 6 other camps. And this is contained in what we would call the Military Bases Agreement of 1947, signed by no less than President Manuel Rojas and Paul MacNutt, who was then the High Commissioner. In 1966, that was good for 99 years, yung 1947 Mutual Military Bases Agreement. But in 1966, this was amended through exchange of notes by the Foreign Affairs secretaries, that this will be shortened to another 25 years from 1966, meaning that will just be up to 1991. So instead of 99 years, it would actually just run to 44 years. 44 years. Indeed, in 1991, the Senate, Philippine Senate, voted against the retention of the military bases under the control of the United States. And so in 1992, they left, the United States forces left, and all these military bases came under the control of the Philippines. That was 1992.
Maituturing na makasaysayan ang pagpapaalis sa mga base militar ng mga Amerikano. Ayon kay Professor Vine, natatangi ang bansang Pilipinas kung saan nagkaroon ng kapangyarihan ang taong bayan, maging ang mga matataas na opisyal ng bansa na magkaisa upang mapatalsik ang mga US military bases. Ito ay dahil na rin sa mga hindi maganda na naidudulot nito sa soberenya ng Pilipinas. Nakagawa pa rin ng paraan ng Estados Unidos para maibalik ang mga base militar nito at ang presensya ng sundalo nito sa Pilipinas.
People in the Philippines know better than many around the world what it can mean to have huge U.S. military bases on your soil, the way it can strip host nations of sovereignty, the kinds of crimes that can occur around U.S. military bases as a result of the actions of U.S. military personnel, the environmental harms, among many, many others. I don't think there's an example anywhere in the world where local people have risen up, as well as politicians, to the U.S. military to large and significant bases as happened in the Philippines. Long after that happened, the U.S. military began to find ways to return to the Philippines.
Alamin sa pangalawang bahagi ng aking ulat. Para sa Diyos at Pilipinas kong mahal, ito si Hannah Jane Sancho, SMNI News.